Hello, welcome to my channel. Today's video is the third and the last episode of my video series on public speaking. In the first two episodes, I talked about the purposes of public speaking, the introduction of the speech, and how you can introduce yourself. Today, I'm going to cover several more points. Number 1, how to deliver your speech. Number 2, how to use nonverbal communication in public speaking. And number 3, how to develop self-confidence. Today's video may be a bit longer than usual because I want to cover as much as possible in this last episode. So please stick around until the end of the video. If you are new to this channel, my name is Frank Zhu, and I'm a college professor teaching sociology, history, and philosophy. I'm also an award-winning landscape photographer. First, let's talk about how you can deliver your speech. The method of delivery may vary, depending on a number of factors such as the purpose of your speech, the subject, the occasion, and your audience. For example, you are asked to say a few words at a meeting. The speech you are making at this meeting is called impromptu speech. An impromptu speech is delivered on the spur of the moment. You have to say something without any notice in advance. Undoubtedly, it demands a great deal of you as the speaker because you have very little time or no time at all to analyze the subject or to analyze the audience, and you have little time to organize your ideas. On the one hand, this type of delivery gives the impression of spontaneity and directness, which is good, of course. The audience will feel it more natural and easier to accept your messages. On the other hand, it can result in inappropriate statements, unexpressed thoughts, and repetitiveness. If you happen to be in this situation, I have a couple of tips for you. Number 1, keep your speech short and to the point. Number 2, try to use examples for supporting material. Number 3, handle only one main point. And number 4, make sure your central idea and purpose are absolutely clear. Other times, you might be required to make a presentation which must be very precise, as when you make a public statement on behalf of an organization or when you have to deal with many facts, statistics, and other data. In your speech, every word and sentence must be carefully chosen and all the numbers must be correctly pointed out. This type of delivery is called manuscript speech. As the name suggests, a manuscript speech gives you time to prepare a manuscript, which is completely written out in advance. All you have to do is to read out all the words and sentences that you have already written in public. The advantage of such a speech is that the messages will be clearly delivered and understood. However, the disadvantages of it are obvious. When you lower your head and just read out your speech, it reduces eye contact with the audience, who may lose interest if it is not an important speech to them. Also, reading a speech makes it difficult to change the language or content to adapt to the mood or reaction of the audience. Some audience may find it unnatural and awkward. So, to make it appear natural and also precise, you may choose another method, called memorized speech. A memorized speech is similar to the manuscript speech. The difference is that the manuscript is committed to memory. So, when you deliver the speech, you say every word and sentence from your memory. This type of delivery demands very little of you as the speaker. However, the disadvantages are also obvious. It takes too much time to memorize a speech, and you have to be a skillful actor to deliver memorized material in a natural, spontaneous way. Besides, you run the risk of forgetting, and once you get stuck, you are likely to mess up everything. Finally, as you focus on trying to remember every word, it is difficult for you to pay attention to your audience and adapt to their mood and reaction. Having mentioned the 3 different methods of delivery, I have to say that the most frequently used method is extemporaneous speech, which is usually the best and most effective method for most speakers on most occasions. An extemporaneous speech is similar to the manuscript speech. Both are carefully prepared in advance. However, the difference is that the speaker does not deliver the speech in a predetermined word order. You have all the ideas in your mind, and you know what you are going to say in the introduction, body, and conclusion. But you decide on the wording of the speech at the moment of delivery. The advantages are many. First, you will be perceived as knowledgeable and credible. In addition, as you can adapt your speed, tones to the reaction of the audience, and you can use body language, your audience is likely to pay better attention to you. Speaking of body language, let me now talk about how you can engage your audience in a non-verbal way. I have actually made a video about the importance of non-verbal communication in face-to-face conversations. In that video, I made the point that non-verbal communication is far more important than verbal communication in many situations. If you missed it, I will leave a link down below. Please make sure you check it out. Non-verbal communication is also very important in public speaking. First, facial expressions. You say a great deal to your audience with your facial expressions, especially with your eyes. If possible, you should always maintain direct eye contact with your audience. Depending on the size of your audience, you should move your head from side to side. When you look at them directly, it indicates your interest in them and your eagerness to get your messages across to them. Eye contact is also regarded as an indication of self-evidence, honesty, and sincerity. Furthermore, maintaining eye contact helps you get the feedback from your audience. For example, if you see your audience members leaning forward in their seats, you know you are doing a great job. If they lower their heads or shrug their shoulders, you get the idea, and you perhaps should adjust your delivery. Now, let's talk about gestures. Gestures can be for descriptive purpose or emphatic purpose. When you describe something, your audience will expect you to make gestures because that's what everybody does in everyday conversations. Therefore, you should use your arms, hands, or fingers to show how big, how small, how tall, or how short something is. When you want to emphasize a point, you should also use gestures so that your audience knows it is an important point. Finally, let's talk about paralinguistic communication, which refers to how you say something, not what you say. Your vocal elements like rate, pause, volume, pitch, intensity, force, vocal quality, and fluency can either reinforce or contradict the verbal messages you are sending to the audience. If you are saying something important, you should raise your voice and slow down. Also, the tone you use can communicate different types of emotions: anger, sadness, elation, boredom, sincerity, excitement, sarcasm, affection, fear, and so on. The proper use of your tone can be more effective than your words. Now, let's talk about how to develop self-confidence. First, you should have the right frame of mind. Acknowledge the fact that most people have stage fright when they speak in public, including very experienced public speakers. So, it is only natural that you will get nervous. Also, keep in mind that your audience most likely have no idea that you are nervous unless you tell them so. On the other hand, being a bit nervous just before giving a speech is actually beneficial because it energizes and prepares you for the occasion. Secondly, if you get too nervous, it is most likely that you care too much about what your audience will think about you. You are over-concerned about your own image. So, shift the focus from yourself to your audience will help you a lot. Concentrate on how to get your messages across to your audience rather than on yourself. Thirdly, if you choose a topic from your own area of interest or expertise, you will feel more confident. Fourthly, prepare your speech carefully and adequately practice your speech beforehand. A useful tip I can give to you is this. During the practice and rehearsal, if you find yourself forgetting certain points all the time, you may write them down on index cards in case you need to look at them during the delivery. As a matter of fact, if you are well prepared, you will find yourself becoming more and more confident as time goes on, and you don't need those cards at all. Let me give you another useful tip. When you really feel nervous during the speech, you may temporarily fix your attention only on those audience members who are listening to you. Their positive and encouraging look will help you gain confidence. Don't look at those audience members who are not paying attention to you because their indifferent facial expressions will only make you feel more anxious. Finally, wearing suitable and comfortable clothes can also be helpful. When you are pleased with your own physical appearance, you will become confident mentally. Well, that is all that I wanted to talk about in this video, which is the third and the last episode of my video series on public speaking. If you think I should make more videos to cover more points, please let me know in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you soon.